Oké, goed. Je bent er nog, hè?
Ik ben er nog. Ik ben er.
Goed, zo gaan we iedereen binnenhalen. Ik doe ook even weer een korte intro, hè? De usual commercial. Okay, let's see. I think we have everybody. Buenas tardes a todos. Muy bienvenidos aquí en un otro webinar de Somnia en cooperación con Rocki, Mungeli y SAE México. Hoy es la segunda vez de una serie de webinars que vamos a hablar sobre NFTs y cómo ganar dinero con NFTs en el mundo del músico. Este no es un tema solamente para los artistas grandes, pero es también un tema muy importante para el talento latino, el talento iniciando con su carrera o en la mitad de carrera. Eso es una oportunidad para todos y vamos a cubrir hoy con una perspectiva de una persona muy conocida con la industria de música, Remco de Jong, CEO de Mungeli, y él va a se introducir en algunos minutos. Para la logística, si tienen durante este webinar algunas preguntas, pone en el chat. Vamos a hacer este webinar en inglés, pero si hay preguntas en español, pueden poner en el chat y yo voy a traducir para que Remco pueda responder. Antes de esto, un quick introducción sobre Somnia, qué es Somnia y qué estamos haciendo para la gente que todavía no conocen Somnia. Hoy es un ejemplo de las actividades que hacemos como Somnia. Somos un proyecto que está apoyando talento latino. Es un proyecto 100% con un enfoque sobre el talento latino en América Latina, pero también talento latino en Europa y en Estados Unidos. Y hacemos este apoyo por dos actividades principales, la educación y la promoción. Hoy es educación. Hacemos masterclasses, pero hacemos en persona. Ahora es un poco difícil. Por eso estamos haciendo muchos webinars y nuestros webinars cubren muchos temas desde producción musical hasta el negocio de música, y este es claramente el tema de hoy. Tenemos un contenido, un blog con mucho contenido que estamos haciendo en cooperación con Mungeli. Y el lado de promoción tenemos nuestra emisora de radio. Vamos a reiniciar nuestros mini mixes y playlists, y en el año que viene estamos planeando algunos eventos, siempre con la idea cómo podemos hacer una promoción y educación de talento latino. Con los webinars vamos a tener muchos, y ya con Rocki y Mungeli vamos a tener dos series de 5 webinars que estamos haciendo en conjunto con SAE y probablemente en el futuro con otras escuelas de música y DJs en América Latina. Esta es una colaboración entre Rocki y Mungeli, y van a entender por qué durante este webinar. Estamos preparando webinars sobre music publishing. Estamos haciendo con una empresa de Holanda que se llama Cook & Perry. También vamos a hablar en las próximas semanas y meses sobre un nuevo servicio de música que va a dar oportunidad por su contenido ser promovido. Se llama Playara. Estamos preparando temas sobre Direct to Fan. Remco va a hablar sobre esto también hoy. Estamos preparando en conjunto con Fangage. Tenemos cada mes un webinar con Maarten Voorwerk, uno de los grandes productores, ghost producers desde Holanda. Y siempre hay la posibilidad de tener algunos chats con algunos artistas grandes, famosos desde Holanda y América Latina, hoy en combinación, y estamos preparando algunos estos webinars. Toda esta información puede ver en nuestro nuevo sitio, somniatalent.com. Somniatalent.com es el sitio que tiene toda la información de educación, y al mismo tiempo tenemos otro website que es el somniaradio.com, y este es una emisora de radio 24 horas, 7 días por semana, todo el año, música de talento latino. Tenemos radio shows, tenemos podcast, tenemos de todo. Entonces, este es un gran promoción para el talento latino. So, dos partes, educación y promoción, y este es básicamente la introducción sobre Somnia. Con esto, yo voy a parar aquí y dar la palabra. I will give the word to a good industry friend, Mr. Remco, live from Ibiza. He's a lucky man. We're all jealous, I guess. That's why he's smiling right now. So, Remco, welcome. Thank you very much for making the time. The floor is yours, and take it away as we had pre-discussed, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Jean-Luc. And I might be lucky to be in a beautiful island, but there's like two downsides. One, the mobile coverage is not that great, so I had to drive around to find a great spot to be able to do a Zoom. And the second thing is all the clubs are closed down, but still the musical atmosphere is still around in this beautiful island. For those who don't know me yet, I'm Remco de Jong. I'm the founder of Moon Jelly Agency, a marketing, branding, and business management agency for artists, promoters, and labels. I've been around in marketing and advertising for many years, and I've done marketing, especially in the music industry, for the likes of Nicky Romero and Don Diablo. Set up my own agency a few years ago to help a lot of aspiring artists to do their own marketing, because in my opinion, it's not just about releasing music, it's all about how to market your product. And these days it's very difficult to stand out. So marketing is the key to differentiate yourself. At the moment, we have around 15,000 DJs and producers that make use of our marketing library, which is free online. We have about 1,000 people doing mini courses within our platform, either to learn more about social media or streaming on Spotify, but also Marketing Basics 101. And in the last category, we do consultancy for a wide variety of artists and labels, from future house music to Rog to Sunray James, Ryan Marciano to Firebeats, and a few probably others you've never heard of. Today, and like last week, I'm speaking about a new opportunity that has risen to the market, and that's called NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Not sure if all of you are familiar with it, but it's been the hype and the craze in the last few months. There's something roaming in the music industry, and I think this is a great opportunity for all artists, but also for the music industry to finally become a transparent market where the artist really benefits from the value it's creating by creating music. And I know all of you artists, even if you're small, you've always tried to get yourself signed to a label who will distribute you, and you will get distributed through streaming services, and then you will all are waiting for your paycheck that probably arrives a year later. Blockchain has been around for a while, NFTs is too, but blockchain is going to change all that. And blockchain is going to make it a very transparent, instant service where there's actually no intermediates anymore. So it's a direct relationship with someone who loves the music and who creates the music. And within the creator industry or the creator economy that's been risen, that's been going on for a few years. But we've seen, of course, YouTubers become famous. We've got famous TikTokers. We've got famous Instagram kids. We've got an amazing bunch of gamers making more money than any athlete or artist in the world. And then we have of course, a lot of artists that are really, really handy with these new media technology, and make name for themselves. And there's also a few artists that really handily made use of the opportunities NFTs gave them and made a bit of money. I'm not sure if everybody is new, so I don't know, Jean-Luc, do I need to tell a little bit more about the NFT market or how it works, or are there any specific questions? Because I don't want to repeat everything we discussed last week, of course.
I think it's good to maybe just cover a little bit like why Rocki and Moon Jelly got together, right? I mean, and for everybody on the webinar here, you can go to our website where you will see the previous webinars. So they're playing there, and we have now multiple webinars on NFT. So some of the let's say the basics also on the Rocki platform you can learn there. But Remco, speak to maybe some of the, if you will, frustration that you had, what you were looking for, and what you have found in Rocki.
Yeah, so as a marketing agency working for a lot of artists, we create a lot of how we call it funnels, and here's a communication or business funnels where we try to convert people who are following, or people who press the like button on Instagram, into knowns. That means that we have a sort of contact. We know either their name or their email, and then we want to convert them into fans, people who we know more about, who we interact oftenly with, either through chat or newsletters or to any kind of incentive we put out there. And then we try to convert those people into paying fans, into in a very loyal fan base. And what we've seen throughout the years is every funnel we created ended up in ticketing. And in ticketing, the margins are so small because everybody takes a piece of the pie, from promoter to ticketing services to management, to artists, to agents. So there's hardly any payout if you look at the funnel. And the same goes for streaming. If we are able to convert, I may say, for instance, 1 million likes into 1,000 loyal fans, and we steer them towards Spotify, the payout is 1,000 times 0.0024 cents, which makes absolutely no sense to drive a lot of people towards an economic system which hardly creates any business. If we pull them towards merchandising, it's only a very small percentage that's willing to pay for merch. However, now we're talking about blockchain and NFTs. There's some like a digital collectible. Some way we can steer those 1,000 people towards a platform where we can maybe charge €1, €5, €10. So the payout is even way bigger than we would ever see with a streaming platform. And if you think about all the efforts, the media efforts, the hours you spend in to set up a Spotify campaign, and even the bigger artists have it very difficult to get past 1 million streams, past 10 million streams. 1 million streams on a gross value is probably €2,300, for what is probably like $2,700. It's nothing if you compare it to the hours and energy put in it. So at the end of the day, if Spotify keeps uploading 50,000 tracks a day, it needs more media spend, it needs more advertising, it needs more PR, it needs more campaign management on all of your socials to be able to put up the numbers that guarantee you millions of streams. And if you put all of that effort, all of that media spend, whether it's earned, owned, or paid, and you put them into a funnel where the grand total could be like probably like $27,000 compared to like the $2,700 you would get from Spotify. For me, that's an easy way. But unfortunately, you see a lot of management and a lot of artists are still waiting for that holy grail, which they think will appear when you sign for a record label. In the back of the days, a record label would build your profile, distribute your music. They had the control over all the distribution platforms, whether it was physical and then with downloads, now with streaming. But at the end of the day, the real, the real big honchos these days are the streaming platforms, and they don't care about the music. They only care about the algorithm. They care about the advertising that comes in, that pours in. um, they're not in the market to embrace music on a whole. They're not in the market to embrace young talent. They're not. And so there's something, really tacky and nerdy about blockchain and NFTs. But at the end of the day, it's almost, for me as an old guy, getting back to the days where you had limited edition CDs, limited edition vinyl, white labels. Again, not scalable, but very scarce. And because it was scarce, the value went up. But it was also a great opportunity for budding artists to get noticed because they made great music. Probably was very difficult to release. Hey, but somehow it made their way. It made their way to famous DJs, and they played it in the clubs. So that's basically if the way I perceive the opportunity that NFTs give us, especially blockchain. At the end of the day, if you're only focused on building a music business through streaming platforms, it's undoable. It's undoable. Even for the biggest artists, streaming only takes up like 1% of their income. So where does your other 99% come from? There aren't that many gigs to play at, and the fees won't go up. Especially, they will probably go down because of COVID. Hardly any promoter has the budget to bring in the big guns anymore. So they will just focus on less DJs, but bigger DJs.
And I know that you have been studying the NFT landscape, I mean, for months, right? And you
Yep.
were, I think, looking for a specific platform.
Yep.
So you ended up with let's say, a handshake with Rocki, right?
Yeah,
So
well, you
what
you you
what
were
were
you were the real connector, and the reason why I was focused on, because NFTs have been around for a number of years, and everybody thought it was a fad and a hype, but it wasn't. It was the perfect idea of creating something that had real value. When you put us in touch with Björn, my first reaction was, "Oh, here we go again. There's another blockchain platform trying to fix the music industry." But then again, Björn, like us, is from the music industry, has a great background within our scene and subculture. And he's really trying to not necessarily fix the music industry, but he's creating added value to the music industry. So we're not saying you should quit streaming at all. You have to see streaming as something different. It's something, maybe your marketing tool, or something that you just don't put all your cards into the streaming. Another reason why we like Rocki is because it's solely focused on music NFTs. What we're seeing now and what the hype is all about is crypto art. And to be honest, in art galleries, art is gaining more interest, more money than music ever will. So, at the end of the day, you will never get. Oh, you'll never get. I say that much money for a music piece than you will get for an art piece. And so the Don Diablo or Blau making $1 million with their art is something different than making $1 million with your music. So it still needs campaigning. It still needs building a platform. It still means conceptualizing. But focusing on music NFTs also gives a lot of fans the opportunity to buy a piece of their artist, because which fan could afford $1 million to buy something from Don Diablo or from Blau? In this case, you could chop up a track in 1,000 pieces, charge $1 or $10, and you would still have a lot of money. And that's something that stands out for all these other platforms. We don't need to think short term. We need to think long term. And what's the best relationship you could build with your fans or your fan base and give something of value, which they can also return into a monetary value. So it's not just like you want to sell 3 pieces for $100,000 and sell to like crypto cowboys, or sell just 1,000 pieces to fans that pay $1 maybe every month.
So Remco, you and I have already, I mean, together with Björn, right? I mean, talked about, let's say, a lot of different ideas. So let's say with the artist that you're working, I mean, so what is the conversation right now? What are the kind of ideas that you are working on? And are those ideas, let's say, any different for whether or not they are big artists or like maybe let's say the majority of what we have here on the webinar, let's say call them more aspiring artists, right? I mean, people that are on their way to become big artists. So what are some of the topics and the ideas that are floating around?
Um, it's the difference is in conceptualizing. So for the bigger artists, we will have more angles, more layers to create different concepts that could play into the fans as an experience, into a fan experience. But on a whole, it's almost the same. So what we're doing now, for instance, is with some artists, we will have like the radio edit will go on streaming platforms, but maybe the longer edit or the original will be sold as an NFT. What we're also doing is combine a digital NFT is digital, of course, but we combine it with physical elements, which is like a meet and greet, backstage access, maybe some signed merch, or a ticket to a special event. Those are all very easy concepts that you could help layer an NFT into something way more valuable. But on the music side of it, we just tend to make it an exclusive, almost something that's exclusive and that people can talk about. You have to build that storyline anyway. So if a track comes out and it's available on Spotify or any streaming platform, but the original or the extended version is only available to as an NFT and won't be played on the radio. So the people who have bought the NFT are the only ones who could listen to that track, which makes it rather exclusive.
And so to take maybe the simplest version, right? Because I mean, some conversations I'm having right now with some people on the Latin America side, like how can we experiment? So it sounds like the almost like the most basic version is the exclusive track, right? I mean, so just one track, totally exclusive, take it as an NFT and put it out there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's something you could do, especially because if you look at what you will get from a Spotify, and if you get maybe 10,000 streams, it won't help you that much. But again, like if you look at how you build your fan base, we always say it starts with friends and family, and from that layer you build another layer, and you grow that fan base. And if you have you probably have like 50 to 100 people in your inner circle, or maybe in your second circle. And if they're all willing, they're probably all supportive of you, and they're all willing to back you up with a few dollars. That's more than you will ever make from Spotify, and that's what we already seeing on the Rocki platform. Artists that make $40 in a day, that they've never seen those things. A guy that makes $200 to $300 of every track he puts on Rocki, and this is a guy who hasn't been signed to a label. It's not that he just started, but he never made it big time. He's having the time of his life, because for the first time in years he's making money, albeit like $2,000 a year. He's making money of music.
And then how does that work? So let's say some folks here on the call have already deals with labels. I mean, how is the let's say the snake pit, if you will, with the labels? I mean, how do they need to maneuver, or is it? I mean, are labels very open to conversation about NFTs, and is it an opportunity to sort of like turn the table?
Labels, you have to look at your contract, because it's still, we still have to compare it to the early days of internet. Not everybody is. We're still pioneering. Everybody's pioneering. Not everybody is focused on this market, and I know that a lot of labels are still figuring out how to deal with this. And to give you an example, and that's the tricky part. Blau and Don Diablo sold their crypto art, but in the eyes of publishers, that's a sink deal. So they should be allowed at least 50% of that sale, which is something probably those artists and their managers never thought of. So we will still see some legal issues, but if you play it out well, you have to chat with your record label if you signed and just ask them like, how do you want to deal with this? Is there something if you have a 360 deal, it's something you need to give them a cut as well. Same goes with publishing. I think you need to be really, really open and transparent about these things. And if they're reluctant to give you a shot, then you have to renegotiate your deal or talk about maybe switching publishers.
Okay. And so, yeah, so in terms of, let's say, then reaching out to the fans, I think it's sort of interesting to get a little bit of your view on that as well, right? Because just as a lot of people are sort of like trying to run to Spotify and as we've talked about, right, are sort of slave of the algorithm. The same thing happens with social media. So how do you see from that point of view how people should think about marketing and engaging with their fan base?
Work your asses off. What I see from all artists, whether they're big or small, is that they are trying to hand over the hard work of building relationship with your fans towards social media. So they think, to maintain a healthy relationship with my fans. So if you don't put in the hard work, it's not going to happen, because social media, social only one thing in mind, and that's making money. And why should they let you make money on their platforms for free? So there's two choices. One is to build your own infrastructure and make sure you have you have the tools to maintain
You're breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit, Remco. So can you sort of like redo the last
majority
minute
of your fans? Some very great tools to it, like what we use for all of our artists, like connect with your fans on Zoom. Okay.
If you can redo the last minute, because you're
the big social media. What's the last part you heard from me?
Well, we heard a lot, but it was a little bit garbly. So if you can sort of like take the last minute back, I think that would work.
I talk a lot, so it's very hard for me to. Let's say, what I said is like, you need to have tools to maintain a healthy relationship with all of your fans or build your fan base. And one of the things we're doing right now is connect through Zoom. It is a very handy tool to build a lively connection with fans. And like I said in the beginning, you need to put in the hard work. And there's two ways. One is like tools like this, arrange for Zoom Connect, or go out there, network, bring them together, make sure they connect amongst themselves, because then they have friends for life and they share a common ground, with you as an artist. And the second part is just advertise. If you want to get noticed these days, especially on social media, there's no other way than advertising. That doesn't mean you need to invest thousands and thousands of dollars or euros. It's just $50 would do a lot, and then you can build your own ad set, as we call it on Facebook Manager. The more you advertise, the better you advertise, the less it will cost to reach out to these people. There's other tools, I've said this in a class last year. I said a lot of these artists forget that you still need to do the groundwork, which is like network, chat to promoters, chat to venue owners, chat to other DJs, try to get your name out there. It's not just to begging for work, but also try to learn from them. There's hardly anyone that I know of that would reject someone with a genuine question. It's like, hey, I'm a budding DJ. I have, I have an interest in playing big clubs, and I was just wondering, what are you looking for in DJs? It's a very simple question. Well, as soon as you have that connection, you can start build a relationship with venue owners, other artists, promoters, and the same goes what you've been doing. I said to you as well. Start your own radio show. Why not? Upload it to Mixcloud. Who cares? Don't look at the numbers. Everybody's focused on numbers. Why? You should be doing stuff out there. The algorithm of the big internet has all these little spiders crawling over the internet. I don't know what you're doing. It's zeros and ones. It's it's a tech world. So whether it's like 4 people listening or downloading, or 400 or 4,000, the internet is noticing what you're doing. So, and it's if you are consistent with your content and you post frequently, you upload frequently, the internet will notice you and will recommend you to people who share those same interests. So if to make it to answer your question, it's again, the solution is put in the hard work in building and there are many tools available, but never underestimate, being a human and making personal connections.
Yeah. So the simplest strategy for an NFT would be load one track, call all your friends, ask them to buy the track, and see what happens.
Yeah, and then have them, tell their friends as well. And it's all about discovery. I don't think about like a track, on Spotify, a track only survives for maybe like 6 to 8 weeks. An NFT can survive for years. Maybe in 3 years' time, you've become famous, and one of your friends who bought one of your first track can resell it, because there's also a resellers market where you royalty rights into it. So if you become the next Martin Garrix, your friends will be reaching.
Yep. And maybe also to explain that for the people here on the call, right? I mean, if they haven't listened to the earlier one,
Martin Garrix in 2013. Yes. Do you still hear me?
Yeah. We have a little bit of a lag. You're in the beautiful mountains.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I was going to say is that for everybody here on the webinar, and if you listen to the earlier webinars that are on the website, you will hear that, right? I mean, so don't think of NFTs as something that is per se crypto, which is one of the things that Rocki is working on. I mean, so this week, next week, I mean, it's sort of like in that famous 2-week range, right? I mean, Rocki is working on making basically the platform accessible via debit and credit cards. So basically, which means you can go from what we consider today normal money to crypto, and so you can engage with the NFT platform, and the same thing the other way around, right? So you can go in and out with normal money, and so that means that this will become very accessible for many people. And for everybody to know, that is something that we're actively pushing or wanting to push between Rocki, Mugelli, and Somnia. That's part of the reason why we're doing these webinars, right? So that people can learn and understand. And as you're listening to us chatting here, don't hesitate to start putting questions into the chat of the things that you would like to understand about the possibilities. So let's take a little bit of a twist, right? I mean, in order to trigger people's imagination, how do you see this, for example, impacting events? I mean, you talked about some things there. What's going to happen at that end, or what are some of these, let's say, physical executions for NFTs so that people can start, imagining the possibilities?
What you see right now is a very. I was talking to a ticketing company last week about NFTs, and for them, it's a great opportunity to create transparency also in the ticketing market, because now if you would resell your ticket, they probably won't even know. There are some tricks to know who's taking control over the ticket, but there's no royalty fee in for them. So imagine if you have a ticket for the Rolling Stones and you paid $50 and it's sold out, and on the black market it's going for $200. That's great for the people who resell them, and there's also a lot of those ticket touts that make a lot of money, except for the promoter and except for the artist. So what's happening now with blockchain and ticketing and an NFT, you can create some really great diversity. So ticketing on blockchain would mean just like, okay, if I buy a ticket, well, the blockchain is, to clarify that, the blockchain is just a digital contract where nothing can be altered. Things can be added, but nothing can be changed. So it's not like a real a normal contract where you can change things. Within a blockchain, nothing can be altered, only things can be added. So if I buy a ticket, it's on my name, and if I resell it, I need to add the person who I sell it to. So if I got a ticket which says not for resale, I can't really sell it, and the ticket becomes void. But the other hand, if you look at from a positive perspective, it's great, because if I resell this ticket for from $50 to $75, there's still a royalty fee that the promoter is getting or the artist is getting. And the same goes if I resell the ticket and I can say, okay, we know that it's going to be an exclusive concert. It's going to be a lot of demand and there's not much supply. So what we're going to do, the biggest amount it could sell for is $100. So it can't be resold for more than $100. So there's all these things you can just control digitally with blockchain, and it so goes for NFTs. So if I make a ticket in NFT, I could add it with different stuff. I could add it with backstage access again. I could go meet and greet with the artist, with all these kind of things. So, you know, at the end of the day, NFT is something. It's an exclusive contract. Things can't be altered, but it offers great opportunities to create an extra experiences and extra money and extra value. Does this answer your question, Jean-Luc?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I am totally fired up. So, and for everybody on the call here, so para todos aquí en el webinar, so yo voy a explicar en español. Estamos trabajando con varias ideas del lado de Somnia, ¿no? De hacer NFTs. So, si están interesados en experimentar con NFTs, entra en contacto conmigo o entra en contacto con Björn o Remco. Porque estamos muy dispuestos a apoyar a ustedes, ¿no? En experimentar. It's very important that we start experimenting. What I have said to many folks is like, you had to learn Serato one day, you had to learn Ableton one day, you had to learn Instagram one day. Now you need to learn NFT on the Rocki platform. And on that note, we'll probably do on the next webinar, right? So go to the new website of somniatalent.com. You can see when the different activities are. We will probably go in a little bit more detail on how you do that. And again, if you wanted to help with that, reach out to us and we will work with you. So let's see here, Dave Mack. Okay, so okay, so he's asking, Dave is asking about an NFT example. So I mean, maybe you can speak to that, and I can, in the meantime, maybe try to pull up the Rocki platform and just show quickly.
What kind of example? Like a piece of music, or?
Yes, yes.
Well, there's loads of tracks available on the Rocki platform, and probably same as you will find on any platform. Not all of them are really great music pieces, but it's the same as you would upload maybe to a Spotify or to any other DSP.
So while you speak, Remco, what I'm going to
Yeah.
do here is just I will show the platform, and then also for Dave. I mean, you and I are anyway going to talk more about this, right? So for everybody who's on the call, go to Rocki.app. And you can see it in action, right? I mean, it's live. This is where you see the platform as it is, and so there's a whole bunch of artists here loading tracks. So every day there's more tracks. Right now, still everything is in the rock, right, which is the cryptocurrency that is being used for Rocki. But all these are in play, right? And so you can check them out and basically start buying them. Now, the same thing is right. So you have here like how you can buy and how you can upload. Again, in the next one with Remco, where sorry with Björn, we'll probably go deeper into like how to do this. But this is like basically a store with music. It's a music store where you can buy the NFTs, and most of these are pretty straightforward. They are either like here an album or they are a specific track, right? And some of the ideas that we're considering with, let's say, support of Somnia is to think of collector's editions or even supporting single tracks.
Yeah, and also please regard an NFT to make it if really sort of not symbolic, but to think of it as a CD, what you used to buy back in the days, a piece of vinyl, you know, if it and see that's something as tangible. So you have the opportunity to bring out your own track or album, just like on streaming services. But this is something that's being sold per piece, and you also have the opportunity to make it as big, as small as you want. You know, it's not up to the people like Rocki to decide whether you want to charge 20 euros or 10 euros for your track. It's all up to you.
So there is a lot of flexibility, and then also important to know, right? Because those would be logical questions, like how much is Rocki taking? At this point, Rocki is not taking anything during the launch period. I mean, they will take some, but it's going to be a relatively small percentage, right? And compare that to your current deals. So now you have an avenue where you can make a direct deal with your fan, right? And all the money comes straight to you. Or if you have a jointly created tract, then you agree on how you're going to go split that based on how you would normally do a split sheet, right, for your royalties. But everything comes to you. And that is the interesting part. And there is no end, right? So you can experiment in as many ways as possible. And I think the sort of digital ones are now the easiest ones. I mean, with physical, if you add physical things, that's maybe sort of like a next step, right? If you think of merch or anything, tangible, that might make it a little bit more challenging. But digital, you can basically do a ton of things, right? So what are some of the coolest NFTs you have seen so far, Remco? I mean, that you sort of say, wow, that's something I would like to do with my artist.
So far, not that much, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed in the creativity of many of those NFTs. Also because everything is still evolved around crypto art, and that is something completely different than music. We've been focusing on I want to focus on music and make the music as valuable as possible. And at the moment, I just see crypto art. So it's you basically sell the art, and then with music together, which I think devaluates music, which is a pity. I've seen some great crypto art being sold. I love the fact what Don Diablo did or what Blau was doing. But to me, it's all about music, and I'm at the moment I'm missing a lot of creativity amongst artists to do something really, really, really powerful with just with their music and maybe some tangible features. But at the moment, it's I'm not that I haven't seen something that is really, really, wowing. I did, I must admit that Rog, who is also an artist we represent, did something really great with Moonwalk, and he was able to sell off some of his NFTs, music NFTs with art. But I did, there's not many around that really, really gave me the idea to do that, to copy that almost that same concept for my artist.
Mm. But basically, I mean, that should not be a message to sort of wait, right? I mean, the message is more like start experimenting, start learning, go on the platform, figure out how it works. Same as with producing tracks, right? You need a couple of goes at it before you are, I mean, at the Martin Garrix level from a music creation point of view, right? But that's like
everybody should everybody should think of themselves as Martin Garrix in 2012. The market has changed, so the new Martin Garrix will come up from an NFT. I'm absolutely sure, and you're right. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be waiting. You should be pioneering. Go out there, release your music. Again, don't sweat about the numbers, please don't, because that's not the game. The game is not, in this case, to have many followers, to have many downloads and many sales. The main thing is you should be out there. You should be out there. Blockchain is forever. You could do great stuff. You could get discovered, and all of these. It has a great discovery mode. So, in the future, when NFTs and blockchain is becoming really, really big, there will be a discovery page and everybody will be collecting music, and you could be one of those collectives as well, and people will start they will start a secondary market, and from that secondary market, again, you will make profits, because the resellers market is also something, you cannot resell your stream on Spotify, but you can resell your NFT on any NFT platform.
And then what about curation in all of this? Because, like, look, I mean, no offense, right? But not everybody is yet maybe up to snuff with making good music. So one of the things could be like, oh my God, I mean, you're going to have a lot of, let's say, not so good tracks, or are people then going to be maybe a little bit discouraged? I mean, do you think that is something that will occur, that there's going to be sort of like curation on these kind of things, and that you're going to go get, I don't know, maybe even playlists of the NFTs that are being created, and recommendations and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a lot of mediocre music coming out, just like on Spotify. Not everything you release is something you would like, and so it will need curation. And one of the great things what we're doing right now is this: we're signing up all these media blogs. So it's not going to be like big artists curating smaller artists. It's going to be a sort of community. It's going to be small blogs, and again, it's like it will be people showing off their collection. And that's something different. So it's everybody's going to can be their own little record shop almost, and you can have, again, playlisting, you can have communities, you can have everything. With Rocki, we are almost done, especially, and hopefully it can go through. But with ADE, we are launched in Amsterdam. We're launching all of our curator partners, and there are some great blogs and media outlets in there.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. So let's hope that the Delta variant doesn't keep us from ADE, because I really am longing to go back to Amsterdam, as you can imagine. So we're getting towards the end of the hour. So I know you're high in the mountains and with some connection challenges, but I wanted to open it up for still maybe some last questions here.
Yes, go on.
And then for everybody, right? I mean, just reach out to us, right? So we're going to help you. We're going to help you do NFTs. because we want people to experiment. We want to create examples. You'll have the support from Rocki, from Somnia, from Moonjelly to come up with ideas.
Yeah, again, don't let it count. If you have questions, if you wake up tomorrow night and think, hey, I still have a very important question. Again, don't, like Jean-Luc said, don't be afraid to reach out. Just tell us. I think we're all here to not only to educate you, but also to help you, guide you through these great opportunities. And I myself have founded a company especially to help aspiring artists do everything themselves, as I've seen that even it doesn't matter whether you're a big or a small artist, the game is still the same, and you should take advantage of it and never be disappointed because things don't immediately succeed. It's trial and error for most of us anyway.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we have a somewhat maybe a shyer crowd, or people are just like going gangbusters with all the ideas. So then what I would once again tell everybody, right, yo voy a decir en español, que por eso estamos haciendo como 5 webinars durante el trimestre de SAE y vamos a repetir más tarde en el año más una vez estos 5 webinars. So para educación sobre este tema. Creamos que es una de las grandes oportunidades en la industria. Estamos trabajando in direct-to-fan activities. We're trying to do some work with FanGage on that, just for everybody to understand, right? That you have to think at it a little bit different. I always say, don't run after the Mount Everest, right? Just climb the hill that is outside of your backyard and start there, right? And so that's basically what we're saying here. So once again, for everybody, the door is open. The invitation is to all of you to reach out to us, to me, to Remco, to Björn, and join us on the next webinar. And with some of you, I'm already having conversations about some of these ideas. And as we say with Somnia, right? Apoyando talento latino. So on that note, don't forget to listen to our radio station. Let me see here if there is. So yeah, thank you for the thank yous. Gracias por las gracias. So don't forget to our 24/7, listen to our 24/7 internet radio, somniaradio.com, where you have now 16 DJs presenting all their stuff. Oh, here are some questions that are coming in. Okay, we'll take one. So, okay, so Andy, gracias por la pregunta. So one of the questions is about what is the best time to launch an NFT? Do I need to make a lot of marketing to make it work right? And so I think we spoke a little bit about that, but maybe you want to just say that one more time on how what the idea is here, Remco?
I would, of course, you need your marketing to boost your NFT. Again, amongst your inner circle, friends, family, people that are close to you, who are supportive of you. And I would say, an NFT is forever. So you can always start building small, and then, if you feel more comfortable, I would also always conceptualize it. So I would not just start with one track. I will always start with a concept, saying like, I'm launching an EP, and every track I'm grant, every track I release every week or something. There's loads of stuff you could do, but with marketing perspective, I would start with inner circle first, because you need. There's another thing. At the moment, it's still a very tech and crypto dominated space, so it still it takes some knowledge to know not only how to create an NFT, but also how to buy an NFT. So the idea is more or less that I think in 3 or 4 weeks you can also buy NFTs with credit and debit cards on Rocki. So that will fortunately change a lot of things. But at the moment, it's still you still need some knowledge.
And again, Andy, right? And I mean, you and I also spoke about that briefly, right? I mean, so yeah, let's start thinking about the concepts, right? And the ideas, and bounce the ideas back to us on what you have in mind, what you envision to do, and then we can help you shape that concept. And then it's like with so many things, but what we're basically saying is like start with the small steps, right? Figuring out how to create the NFT and then bring it to, let's say, a first layer of fans and see what the reaction is, what works and what doesn't work. It's the same as with when you started making tracks, right? So, and this is a new tool that will give you the opportunity to be also, in terms of engagement, probably more effective with your fans, but also financially way more effective, right? So there's very good reasons to start experimenting, to learn the tricks of the trade, and you will be among the first, not only in Latin America, but in the world, right? This is very, very new. And I'm sure, I mean, Remco and Mungeli and Rocki are going to do things at ADE. I think this will be one of the big topics at ADE, right? And so for us as Latin America to be this early on the wave is a fantastic opportunity. I think we're from that point of view lucky, and I'm happy that I'm happy and lucky that I know those two guys. But you take it, right? Benefit from it, grab it, and start experimenting. The door is open. We will help you. Okay.
Yeah. Again, first movers take first benefits, first profits, and also like Jean-Luc is saying, if you have any ideas, reach out to us, because Jean-Luc, myself, and Björn are already thinking of concepts how to conceptualize your NFT launch. So I think you also have the luck that there's three veterans from the industry helping you guys launch these first NFTs. So I would suggest to make use of it. So if you have any idea, any thoughts on what or when, just let us know, and we will help you.
Yep. Good. With that, we're going to go say goodbye for today, and I'm going to go repeat again the Somnia Radio comment, because today we have the 50th episode of Zekstone with In Time Radio. So we do a very special video execution that you can see on all the social media platforms. Soon also straight from our website, because we also want to go direct to fan. Because we don't like all the copyright notices that we get from all those friends. But again, this is all part of dealing with the new opportunities in a new world for a lot of you guys' talent, right? So once again, Remco, thank you very much for being present while you're out in quiet Ibiza. So have a pleasant stay. Thank you for your time with us. And para todos que fueron aquí, muchas gracias. And we will see you on the next one. And we'll place this video in the coming 24, 36 hours also on the website, so you can replay it. Okay? Gracias. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.